Hi everybody, as the name on the video today suggests, we've got a Q&A session today, so we're going to get onto that in a moment. But before we start with that, just want to have a quick talk about two-tone paint colours. Because we just had an update from Volkswagen in the last couple of days to say that the two-tone paint colours on the California, these are the new ones which is talked about with the model year changes that were coming. Well, unfortunately now those have actually been discontinued. The only two-tone colour paint available on the California will be the silver and starlight blue. So that is a new combination that got added on the model year changes. It's one that we've had before. You used to be able to get white and starlight blue. This is the new silver and starlight blue. So that's been available in Europe, I think, for some time on the 6.1. So that's going to stay. That's going to be the only one available. So the two new ones, as far as the Fontana Red and the Indian Grey, they've been discontinued and gone. And also as well as the Ascot and Candy White, that's now been removed as well. So basically, from the 4th of October onwards, if you want a two-tone paint colour choice, your only choice is the silver and starlight blue. Now, I don't know the reasons why this is being done, but I do know that on things like the new ID Buzz, for example, there is huge delays on two-tone vehicles because there's been a huge uptake on those two-tone vehicle choices that's there. Lots of people have gone for two-tone because it looks great in that vehicle, as it does with all the other ones as well. I know those vehicles are going to take longer to come, and they've been telling us, if you've got customers that want one quicker, having a normal colour, for example, the vehicle will probably arrive quicker as well. So it might have something to do with that. I don't know, but so anyway, that's that little bit out of the way. So let's get on to the Q&A session. Let's get some of these questions that you've asked us sorted out and done. As you see, I'm sitting in a multivan here. This is our new multivan demonstrator that's here. So this is the one for people to come and have a drive and have a look at that's here. But some of the questions are relating to multivan, so we'll do those and then we'll move on. We've got some Cali questions as well, and things about bike racks and stuff like that as well. So it's all good stuff. So we're going to mix the questions up a bit between multivan and California and normal transporters as well. Making a start, Luke has asked to reference the LED headlights. So Luke, I believe you got a 2021 Ocean model, and you've asked me about taking the vehicle abroad. Is there anything you need to do? So on the latest Transporter Ocean, so on the 6.1 variation, if you've got LED lights, you don't need to do anything for driving abroad, and the reason for that is because the LEDs are flat as far as the pattern is concerned, so they're perfectly fine to be driving as they are abroad, so you don't need to do anything. You don't need to buy anything else that's to go on those particular headlights. Now, previously with the generation, so the 6th generation, you would get headlamp protectors, and on those protectors you had a little marker so you could stick on the black, as you probably remember from years and years ago, you used to put on them, and they would cut out a certain part of the headlight pattern that would be flicking to the other side of the road. And essentially that's what it used to be when you were driving abroad. So in the UK, our headlights are obviously pointing in one particular direction. If you're driving abroad, they would then be pointing a little bit into oncoming traffic on the other side of the road. And those black things basically that you stuck on your headlights were just used to stop going further across onto that side of the road. LED lights, for example, on that basis, they have a different system that's in there, and they're more of a flat pattern, so you don't tend to get that difference as when you're driving along, and thus so then obviously you don't need to actually put anything on. So you should all be good to go, Luke, and just get straight over there as well. Obviously, if you are travelling abroad though as well, check out what the latest things you need in your vehicle. I can't remember off the top of my head what they are. It's been a long time since I've been abroad with the car, but I know, for example, that things like, for example, having a high-vis vest, spare bulbs I think used to be a thing, which obviously probably not with LEDs nowadays, but if you want to check those out as well, obviously check out for individual countries and make sure you've got everything that you do need if you're driving abroad in different countries, because some countries, if you've not got what you're supposed to have, you can get fined as well, I believe. So definitely worth checking out those other things as well. So great question, thanks a lot for that, Luke. So we've got Gary's asked reference 7-seat options in a California. Can you get 7 seats in a California? The answer to that is yes, only on the Beach model. So the California Beach has the seating configuration very, very similar to what's actually in a multivan, except that the 3-seat bench at the back is a fixed. So to get the 7 seats in there, you'd have to go for the 3-seat bench configuration and then 2 individual seats in the front, which will give you that 7-seat variation version, and that's on the tour version as well, not the camping version of the beach as well. And that will give you the 7 seats. You get your twin doors as standard on there as well, and obviously that can all be made into a bed as well for you to do that. So somebody's asked about multivan rear windows. Do those rear windows open? So the vehicle I'm sitting in at the moment, this particular multivan has got the 90% tint around, which actually deletes the sliding windows that's on the side of it. So if you have that option, you wouldn't have any windows, so the answer to that would be no on this particular vehicle. However, we'll jump out in a second and I'll show you a vehicle we've got in the showroom, which is a standard style vehicle, and that does have these sliding windows that's on the side. I'll give you a quick demonstration of how they work. Next question is from Hadi, and Hadi's asking about the multivan and seating options, wondering whether you can get an additional seats, etc. for the vehicle. So you can't buy an individual seat. So for example, if you come to our parts department and say, can I have a seat in this middle bit here, we couldn't order you that seat. We could order you all the bits that go with it, and then obviously then you could effectively put all those bits together. As you can probably imagine, I've discussed this before when we've talked about California Beach in the past, it's very, very expensive to do that, to the point nobody does it. So it's not something you can get extra seats that's in the vehicle. And I think this is probably in relation to possibly talking about if you're having a 6-seater and you wanted to get the extra seat in the middle. With the previous Caravelle and beaches and things like that, if people have needed an extra seat and it hasn't got it, obviously people go online and look for used seats and things like that, which is the easier option if you really do need an extra seat. Or, as what I was just trying to advise people to do, is get the maximum seating capacity to start with when you order the vehicle, and that way then you can always take things out. So on the multivan, for example, so it comes standard with the 7 seats. We've got an option to make it a 6-seater that's here. And now with the new conference pack, which is available on this vehicle, you can have a 7-seat with the 2 seats that actually turn round through 180 degrees as well. With that conference pack, then you don't get the armrests that's on these seats, that's on the back, that you can add on as extra. You get those armrests with the 6-seat version, for example, that's in the back of here. But you can buy those armrests from the parts department. Those are one thing you can buy. £200 per armrest, so quite expensive, but obviously that will give you the full availability of the vehicle. So if you're looking to get the maximum out of a vehicle, let's say on a multivan, my advice would probably be to go for the 7-seat, get the conference pack as an additional option, so that will give you 7 seats plus the 2 that will actually turn 180 degrees, and then obviously then if you want it as a 6-seater, you could take this seat out, for example, and it gives you the maximum flexibility, and you'd have all the seats to start with. And then if you did, for example, want to take this out and you wanted your armrests on, for £400 you could go and buy 2 armrests if you felt you needed it. It's quite nice, I'll be honest, on this side of it, in the back here, you've got somewhere to put your arm when you're travelling on here. This seat does fold in half anyway. I'll show you that in a second, and you can use that as an armrest as well. So there's a big question, do you really need it anyway? So if you wanted to use this as an armrest, you just pop it down. It comes down in here. You've got cup holders that's in the side of it, so as you can see, if you were sitting in here, you could have armrest up here. You've got somewhere to put your arm down here. Nice comfortable position moving along. Do you really need armrests in the back? Probably not. Obviously, if you wanted to remove this to give you more room and access down the way, as I said, you could go and buy those additional armrests for the rear of the vehicle. The one thing that's just worth noting at the moment, this new conference pack, which we're talking about on here, we haven't seen it in the flash yet. So the only thing we are assuming is that the holes for the armrests in the back of here will still come with a hole and a bracket in the side for it to actually come on. Now, there is a half a chance it might not do. We won't know until the vehicles arrive. I have asked the question, but we haven't received an answer on that. I would suspect these seats will be a 1-seat, so they always come with the hole that's in the side of it, but we shall wait and see. And that comes to the end of today's Q&A. So I hope that's answered some of the questions for you. We have got some more coming up. We're just waiting for the next batch to get together, and then we'll get through another Q&A session. So that'll probably be in about 4 or 5 weeks' time, maybe somewhere around there. So if you've got any questions from today's Q&A, if there's anything you want to add to any of that, pop it in the comments box below. And then obviously we can add it to the next one. If I've said something you don't think is quite right, let us know. I'm not the fountain of all knowledge with California as well. So as always, I'm still learning things as well, so if there's something you think actually that's not quite right, let us know in the comments box below. That's what the comments box is for. It's for let us have a discussion about these things as well, and try and help everybody out in one place. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. If you want to have more content like this, click the subscribe button and you'll get updates whenever we post a new video, and we'll see you next time.